to week 2 of High School Lowdown for Ernest Boker and Jeff Bird. I'm Steve Wilson. Well, Vicksburg will have an off week after a blowout loss to Pearl in the Red Carpet Bowl, and that was a tough one for the Gators, was it not?
It's been a tough time. Pearl had a very good team, an experienced offensive line, but as Coach Perry said from Pearl's in their 5th year as a starter program, whereas Vicksburg, was their first time out under new coach Tavares Johnson Sr.
Well, talking to Coach Johnson after the game, he preached to the Gator fans patience. This is going to take time. We're going to get this thing turned around.
When you look last year, they started the same way. They had a blowout loss the first night. They came back, had a week off, and was ready for Richwood, and then had one of the most exciting wins of the season last year.
Well, St. Al will be taking on yet another St. Joe, this time one from Greenville.
Right, it's kind of the St. Joe round robin. They had Madison St. Joe last week and didn't really come out too well. Gave up 400 rushing yards, 41 points, and just really got manhandled on the offensive and defensive lines.
Well, I know last year you were speaking of rushing defense. The Flashes are going to have to deal with a big quarterback. His name is Raines Rester from Greenville St. Joe. He's a 6'3", 240-pounder, very Tebow-esque, and last year he really shredded the Flashes.
Right, and if their line struggles as much as it did against Madison St. Joe, they're going to be in trouble again. He's probably bigger than some of St. Al's linemen. So if he gets into that secondary and the second level where the linebackers are, he can really probably do some more damage again this year.
Well, Jeff, you'll be headed up to Deer Creek to see PCA play. Big story out of there was the play last week of running back Peter Harris.
Yes, Peter touched the ball 6 times last week, scored 5 touchdowns, 3 on runs, 2 on receptions, and I look forward to another big game this week. Unfortunately, he won't have his quarterback. Jonah Masterson is out this week with an undisclosed injury, and now Zach Morgan, this young sophomore, will take his place.
Well, Warren Central will be making the trip to Callaway, and that's not going to be an easy trip for the Vikings.
Now, Callaway always has some talent. They're never an easy game, no matter what year it is, and this year it seems like maybe they have it all together. Their quarterback, Chris Mitchell, had a great debut as the varsity starter, 20-28 for 258 and a couple of touchdowns last week, and they beat Northwest Rankin, which was a major win for them.
Well, WC, talking with Coach Josh Morgan before the season, he said that he wanted to get rid of some of these unforced errors that they've had a habit last year of doing, and it seemed like the unforced errors caught up with WC against Brandon in the opener in the Red Carpet Bowl.
Right, they had a few turnovers, and the second quarter was a debacle. From no matter how you look at it, they gave up 37 points, and most of it in about 8 or 9 minutes. And talking to Josh the other day, he basically said it just one of those things that you just don't know how to get out of once it's happened. And you try to correct some things, but nothing seems to work.
It's kind of like the proverbial snowball going down a hill.
That was more like an avalanche coming down a mountain.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Ernest Boker and Jeff Bird, I'm Steve Wilson. Check out all the happenings at VicksburgPost.com. We also have scoring updates there every Friday, along with our Twitter feed, VicksPostSports.com. That's spelled VIX. Thanks, and come and see us again.